Jesus said, "And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Pray then in this way." In this part of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus has been talking about how the disciples should act and behave so that they are following God and following Jesus faithfully. As an Episcopalian, it's sort of funny to hear Jesus say these words about not standing in synagogues and praying and not heaping up empty phrases. We in the Episcopal Church, of course, gather each week to say our prayers together as a community, and we are rather fond of the language of our prayer book. Jesus isn't telling us to stop gathering together for prayer, and he's not telling us to be careful about the words that we use and using beautiful language. But what he is pointing to is that prayer is a conversation. It is a relationship. And there are times when prayer should happen in community. And in those times, using shared beautiful language is good. And that prayer as community still points us to God. But then there are also times when we need to work on our relationship with God and pray privately, making sure that we are being open and honest in our prayers to God so that we can listen and discern God's will for us. What follows the pray then in this way is Matthew's version of the Lord's Prayer, or the Our Father. It begins with, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And do not bring us to the time of trial, but rescue us from the evil one." This prayer that has become so familiar to Christians around the world and is such a comfort to us is rooted very deeply in Jesus's Jewish faith. There's no part of this prayer that you can't find in the Jewish scriptures, but what Jesus does is put together a model of prayer for his disciples to use, that even when they don't have the words to talk to God, here is a model that we can follow. Every time I pray this, when we're in church on Sunday or on campus or in my individual prayers, a lot of times there's a different part of the prayer that catches me. I particularly like to pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done," hoping that and knowing that God's will is so much better than what is going on right now, that God's kingdom will be better than what's going on right now. And so let it come and be now. But today, in 2020, October 2020, what really caught me short was the beginning of the prayer, the Our Father part of it. And being reminded that we begin our prayer by identifying God as our Father and therefore us as children of God, which also means that everybody else that says this prayer and begins this way are our brothers and sisters. In this time when it's really easy to pick us versus them, the way Jesus tells us to pray begins in acknowledging God as our Father, as our Mother, as our protector, as our provider, but also acknowledging each other as being bound together in that relationship in love. So, as we go forward into this fall season, let us remember that Jesus makes it clear that we are to pray in this way, and that is to pray in a way that is built on relationship and love.